you like to be able to make a transition to canter only with a very small shift of weight from your seat bones? If so, then this video is for you, because I'm going to give you lots of tips on how to achieve that. First of all, of course, that requires a lot of balance and control from the rider. If you haven't downloaded my ebook, Tackle the Bounce, yet, then definitely do that, because there I talk a lot more about how to create that solid foundation for your riding position and a balanced riding position. So you'll find a link in the description box. Okay, so how to ask for the canter using just your seat bones and a subtle shift of weight. First of all, let's talk about some prerequisites. Of course, the horse needs to be trained properly. Any horse can definitely be trained to pick up the canter from your weight aid. But sometimes you need to work towards it. It might not come from the very first try, because different horses can be trained to pick up the canter a little bit differently, and sometimes you just need to find those correct buttons. So don't get frustrated if you don't get it right straight away. And what's of course very important to get a nice transition to canter is preparation. So the horse needs to be in good balance. The horse needs to be engaged and active enough so that the horse can actually pick up the canter. So you need enough energy without the horse running away. And then you of course need to balance the horse with half halt and with your seat. And then you're going to need to have the correct timing. So you should ask for the canter when the horse's outside hind leg is in the air and coming to the ground. So that's when the horse can actually pick up the canter. I'm going to give you a few different ideas and tips on how to make that subtle weight shift from your seat and from your pelvis. And I'm going to show you also an exercise that you can do off the horse to practice this. So first tip that I learned in some clinic a while ago. So if you're picking up the canter from the walk or from the trot, it doesn't really matter. There is this little side to side movement from left to right, left, right, left, right. So when you want to pick up the canter, when normally, let's say this is trot, you're going to go left, right, left, right. And if you want to pick up canter, then you would sit again to right. So left, right, and right. And that would be the canter aid. So left, right, left, right, left, right, right. So you kind of sit again to the inside seat bone. And that also actually helps with the timing if you feel that little side to side movement. So another tip would be to think about the movement of the inside seat bone. So again, let's say we're going to pick up the right canter, that it's kind of this scooping motion. So kind of like this, but it's very small. And now I'm going to show you one more exercise that you can do off the horse that can also really help you to practice that little weight shift and also just to become a little bit more aware of your seat bones. For this exercise, you're going to want to have a firm chair, but it's okay to have something to soften it a little bit because you will be sitting on your hands, so otherwise it can hurt a little bit. So now you're just going to put your hands under your seat bones and just feel your seat bones and find the neutral position for your pelvis. So you don't want to be overarching your back or over rounding your back. So you want to have your pelvis upright. In the end of this video, I will link another video where we talk a little bit more about that and also do some exercises. So feel how your weight is distributed on your seat bones. Are they even? And now, when you want to ask for the canter, you want to make this subtle weight shift towards your inside seat bone. So think about sliding your inside seat bone slightly forward and sideways. So it's kind of like this diagonal movement, and it's very small. So probably you can't see that I'm doing much, but if you try it yourself, you can definitely feel it. And again, feel if one side is more difficult. So for me, definitely doing the weight shift with my left seat bone is a lot more difficult than the right. The right feels so much more natural. And now experiment a little bit. What happens if you lean forward like this? So now actually you lose both your seat bones. So you really want to control your upper body. So the movement really comes only from your pelvis and from your seat bones. So definitely practice this at home and then try to do it on the horse as well. Now also what is very, very important when you want to ask for the canter is that you stay balanced. So you don't throw yourself forward or back or sideways. It's really just this very little movement, and then you stabilize yourself using your core muscles, because if you throw yourself forward like this, then you'll also make the horse very unbalanced. And if the horse is not in balance, then you're not going to get a good transition to canter. And if the horse doesn't respond yet to those subtle weight aids, then of course you could enhance that aid with your leg aids. So for example, when you ask with the inside seat bone, at the same time you use the inside leg to ask for the canter. Okay, so now I'll just show you this also in slow motion.
Okay, so we're going to watch this a couple of times, and like I said, the weight shift is very small, so that's a little bit difficult to see, but also just so you get the feeling for that timing when you need to give that aid. So here we go, and just watch the outside hind leg now. And that's when you give the weight aid. So that's when you shift your weight. So let's look at it again. Watch the outside hind leg now. And there you might have noticed that I also used my inside leg a little bit to reinforce my weight shift. Okay, but let's look at it one more time. So here we go. Again, watch the outside hind leg, and I ask now. And then the horse goes into the canter.
So I hope this video was helpful. Check out this video next, so there will be a little bit more about pelvis and seat bones, which is really the key to good communication with your horse. I'll see you next time. Bye!